If I'm being honest, Anthony, I had already hit record. I'm sorry.
Oh, you piece of shit.
Cody, always ruining everything.
It's what I'm known for.
Couldn't wait just one more goddamn second.
So, boys, how we doing? Good to see you guys. I'm excited to be on this lovely morning recording.
Morning edition of Comics and Chronic.
Yeah, a nice wake and bake.
I know.
Hell yes.
Cheers.
It's
guys.
especially early for Jake.
It's 8. I was up. It's 8:47.
I feel like for us, it's almost lunchtime.
Yeah, for us, it's about lunchtime, but I also had a late night.
Oh, yeah? Were you doing some partying?
Or stand up.
I did stand up and then I crushed some puss.
Sounds fun.
Wait, which did you do better at, stand up or crushing puss?
Ooh.
What a great question.
Well, I didn't break a sweat doing stand up. Let's say that.
Okay, but which did you have more time? Did you do a 10-minute set and a 10-minute fuck, or was it longer?
I was really high, so honestly, I wasn't even able to bust it. I did. You know, I was the host for stand up, but I was the headliner for Dickin. You know what I mean?
Wait, you said you were so high you weren't able to bust it?
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm high, it takes me forever, 1,000 years to come.
You can't bust a nut when you're high?
Not always. Sometimes I can, but it just takes a lot longer.
Okay.
So you're saying if you're a guy who comes too fast, you should smoke more weed.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, science brought to you.
Medical advice.
Yeah, Cody Cannon's medical advice.
It's been a while since we heard some of that.
Yeah, and now with COVID making a comeback, remember to inject yourself with Clorox.
Yes.
No, definitely don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that unless we hate you.
But do get high before you fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, for a second I thought you said do that before you fuck. So inject Clorox on yourself.
Yes.
That's the real way to prevent yourself from nutting.
Yeah, just die.
I would do Mr. Clean because he's more of a badass.
Whoa. Then who? Who's another cleaning icon?
Exactly.
Oh, you're right.
Clorox is an unnamed chemical company, but Mr. Clean, you can embody the spirit of that dude.
I don't.
We have. What about the Scrub Daddy?
Scrub Daddy.
But Scrub Daddy's so much newer. That came out on Shark Tank. Mr. Clean has been around since the 80s.
And can you inject yourself with Scrub Daddy? Yeah, true. He's an OG.
He's an OG, though he might be a neo-Nazi. We have the
What?
bald
Is
head.
Mr. Clean a
I
neo-Nazi?
don't trust that, man. What bald-headed white man is going around taking such pride in cleaning? And think about all the commercials. It's always a dirty white surface, and he cleans it off. He wants everything to be white.
Interesting.
Oh my
yeah, you might have
God.
uncovered a
I
conspiracy
think
here.
there's
You're
some
right.
deeper messages going on here.
So maybe
my
don't
God.
inject yourself with Mr. Clean is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of racial conspiracies, you guys.
Oh, that's fun.
That was not a bad segue.
No, that was good. That worked.
Honestly, one of our best in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey.
congrats.
Well, welcome to Comics and Chronic, the AM early edition, even though you'll be listening to this at a normal time.
Yeah,
Hey,
for
maybe
us,
they're at work.
That's
You
true.
never know.
Yeah.
Because you should be listening to us at work.
Ooh.
Also,
always say that.
yeah, exactly. Don't, some people say poop on the company dollar. We say listen to Comics and Chronic on the company dollar. It's like as close as you can to smoking Chronic on the company dollar. You know what I mean?
And you're sticking it to the man.
Yeah, and if your boss calls you in for a meeting, you tell them to hold on until you finish the current episode of Comics and Chronic that you're listening to.
Yeah, you could be like, my schedule will be free in an hour.
Yeah, and they'll understand too because we've signed a deal. This is actually the announcement with every company ever.
With all bosses.
All companies across
small,
the board.
large, medium. You're allowed to listen to Comics and Chronic on the company dollar. Actually,
Yeah.
you have to by law. They can't say no.
Yeah, they're making a new amendment to the Constitution.
That's true. That's the next level. Because some states are going to be like, well, you can't listen to Comics and Chronic. That involves weed, but we'll get past that.
Yeah, nationally, this isn't going to be like our weed laws. Nationally, Comics and Chronic is going to be legal across the board.
I like that we're going to be legal. We've been illegal this whole time.
Yeah. We're a pirate radio, a pirate podcast.
Yeah, we've been operating illegally for this. Comics and Chronic is going to be legal. That's true. Yeah, welcome back. I'm one of your hosts, Jacob H. You already know who's with me. It's Cody Cannon, Anthony Iannaccio. And today we are discussing the Netflix movie They Cloned Tyrone.
They Cloned Tyrone.
Directed by Jewel Taylor.
Has this director, I guess I could have looked this up myself, but has this director done much else?
I don't know, to be honest.
I looked it up, and guess what? Like, okay, so this might be like their directorial debut, right? So, because if you go to IMDb, this is what they're known for, because they wrote the movie too. I think there's a co-writer, but they also wrote 2 other movies. They're recent movies. One of them is Creed 2. So
nice.
I think that's pretty sweet. But I don't think you'll ever guess from this movie what the other movie Jewel Taylor wrote.
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know. What?
Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh, no.
Wait, that was the new one with LeBron James?
And Don Cheadle, yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's like,
They
what?
can't all be bangers, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so for every They Cloned Tyrone, you might have a Space Jam New Legacy inside of you. That's okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
No, but it really is insane to think about that. Like, I didn't go into this movie knowing that at all, but knowing that now, it's like, huh. Like, you could write 2, like a movie like this, which is like, I'm already saying it, one of the best movies of 2023.
Agreed.
And then Space Jam, where I'm like, what? Algae Rhythm? Did you come up with Algae Rhythm?
Of course,
too?
you already know they came up with Algae. I agree with that statement completely. One of the best movies of 2023. It was a surprise. So, like, I just want to give some background. Because of the strike, they're not allowed to do press for movies right now, even movies on Netflix. So this movie hasn't been getting promoted at all. So it's kind of been going like under the radar unless you have a Netflix subscription and you see it. That's why I was like scrolling through Netflix and I didn't ever see the trailer for the movie. I was like, oh, I'll watch this. It looks weird and different. And dude, like after I finished it, I was like, fuck, man, that's a good movie.
I loved it.
Yeah,
Bananas.
I loved it. It felt like they don't make movies like that anymore. Just like, because now it's either like huge blockbuster, whether it's comic book or action, or like movies meant for like Oscar season. This is just like a fun film.
Yeah.
And
comedy, action, drama. But I would say sci-fi, big sci-fi.
huge sci-fi,
But
also like social
I would say it's
commentary. A lot of social
Yeah.
commentary.
I would describe this as a comedy sci-fi.
Yeah. It reminded me a lot, but I think I like this better actually, of Sorry to Bother You. Did you guys see that one?
I did. Sorry to bother you. The first like 50 minutes are really good and then it drops off.
Yeah.
I don't even.
But you get what I mean? Like, it has that same kind of...
Oh, with Lakey.
Yeah, Lakeith Stanfield, yeah.
Lakey.
Lakeith.
It's a classic Cody Cannon pronunciation right there.
Hey, man, I'm getting my job. What can I say?
No, I agree with you, Anthony. It definitely does have similar vibes and feelings of that movie.
Yeah. I agree, actually, completely. This is a little wonkier until when Sorry to Bother You goes off the deep end, like towards the end of the movie. It gets crazier, but for the majority of this movie, it doesn't take long to jump into the sci-fi madness.
Yeah, it also has a really satisfying ending.
Dude, I agree completely. That last scene, literally, like I was talking to my friend the other day, there are some movies that just have like really great endings. I actually consider Whiplash to have one of the best ending scenes of any movie. Have you seen Whiplash?
Yeah, but I totally forgot the ending now. I love that movie though.
Yeah, the last scene was with Miles Teller and J.K. Simmons, and they finally like vibe and get each other, and it's such a great fucking scene. I like some movies are like defined.
Oh yeah, after like all that abuse, like they kind of connect at the end. Yeah.
And like that whole last scene is great, and I agree with this. Like that last scene in the movie, when you finally like hear the title of the movie, because I'm watching it and I'm like, well, who's Tyrone? He's not even.
Yeah.
And then, that like before we hop around, well, so far this movie stars Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, and Teyonah Parris.
All were stellar.
All amazing.
I was also blown away. Hey, I love Jamie Foxx as an actor. He delivered in this tenfold.
Yeah, he was so fucking funny.
Charles. He was Slick Charles. He was hilarious.
Yeah, dude, he was unreal.
When they come up with the plan to like, fight back against the evil, white organization, and he's like, we need to beat them at their own game. He's like, I'm a pimp. Pulling tricks is what I do. He has like some of the best lines in the movie.
Exactly.
Oh, for sure.
I think he has one line where he's saying something and he's like, I'm a Taurus. And I'm like, yeah, I'm a Taurus too. Yeah, you're my favorite character now.
And it's funny because like he's like this lovable pimp,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're rooting for him. At first, he seems like a scumbag, sleazeball pimp,
exactly.
Just like cowering in fear of Fontaine. That's John Boyega's character. And then like he's part of the crew. He's like, because he sees the shit go down and he starts connecting the dots.
Yeah.
Well, can I say also I went into this movie completely blind. Like I knew it existed, but I didn't see the trailer. Jake was like, you got to watch this movie. So I just watched it I love going into it blind. That made it even better.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I had no idea what was going to happen.
I went into it blind. I didn't know if it was a drama or
I went to it blind as a bat. Other than you guys just saying, see, I watched it a little. All I knew was that Jake loved it, but that's all I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also leaves a lot of room for interpretation. It could suck dick.
I only love quality things.
Jake usually has good recommendations. I can't even, I can't even front and say that Jake has given
I can
us.
front.
We know that. You are a front piece of shit.
I think both of you guys, I like your recommendations, but like if I give you a recommendation, you're gonna be like, let me run this through the Anthony just recommended something simulator and see what kind of movie, like I always have to push it a little. That's okay.
Like, it reminds me of that line in Parks and Rec when Aziz Ansari talks about like why he chooses the music to have. And it's like every recommendation that you give me goes through a series of rigorous tests to answer one question. Is it a banger?
That's basically our philosophy on the podcast too.
Yeah, the Joe Pesci scale is the final of those rigorous tests.
Exactly.
Dude, I gotta say, I was really impressed by John Boyega's acting. I've always thought he's a good actor, but like when I was watching this,
he's incredible.
I was like, dude needs to be like leading man more in more movies.
It was stellar. He looked great. I don't know. If I'm being honest, I think off the top of my head, I might have only seen him in Star Wars.
Oh, Force Awakens.
Really? He's in Attack the Block. That's what
Attack the Block.
Oh,
is so good.
I forgot about
the
that.
Block.
Yeah, Attack the Block rules. It's a banger.
But yeah,
Okay.
no, like, do you guys remember Force Awakens and the trailers make John Boyega seem like he's going to be like a Jedi in this movie? And he even thought that. I think he was even misled either by the marketing or by like the creative team to think that he was going to be a much bigger deal. And as the movies go on, his character Finn, I think it is Finn. Like they do nothing with him.
They nerf him.
And I loved him. I thought, they nerf him hard. And he was pissed about that too.
I was
so
pissed.
John Boyega deserves more roles for sure.
Fuck Disney.
He's great.
I also
Fuck
like,
Disney, indeed.
dude. And going back to Force Awakens, what I really liked is like, okay, here's this dude. He has no Jedi abilities, no midichlorians, but like the scene where he has the lightsaber in Force Awakens and he cuts down those stormtroopers.
Yeah.
Dude, fuck yeah. And like the fact that they're like, oh no, we're gonna take the lightsaber away and give it to Daisy Ridley. It's like, dude, let him keep the lightsaber.
there was no reason they both couldn't have it too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to take it away from her either. he was great,
earned it.
and I
feel
wanted
like
to
he
see more.
earned it.
Yeah,
Let's see him do more adventures with it. And then he's barely in the second one, and then the third one, I think he's even more barely in it.
yeah.
So
In this movie, he plays 4 or 5 different characters.
dude,
Yeah.
which is all like really impressive and shows his range of acting.
Hell yes.
Like when he plays the like the older scientist who like is cloned off of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That scene when he's talking to like, you know, himself or whatever. Just the voice and like his mannerisms as an older man and a scientist. I was like, damn, dude, like that's some good acting right there.
I really like that.
Yeah. Also, the fight scene with himself ruled.
Yeah.
And also John Boyega, and as that character, I immediately cast him as Stockman in Ninja Turtles.
Ooh, I
like a live action New Turtles, he could be Stockman. Because then he becomes the bug, you know?
Yeah. I like that.
I think that would work. Because I was like, oh shit. Like if okay, talk about like makeup and characters. Did you guys know the preacher was David Alan Grier?
Yes.
I didn't realize that. I was like, holy shit. In the credits, I was like, what?
I realized that. The preacher
I didn't
is David
realize
Alan Grier.
he was a great character.
Yeah.
He was a great little like cameo with that creepy.
Yep.
I love how they're all at the church and what do they start dancing to? Back That Ass Up by Juvenile. And he's like,
I think so. The soundtrack was killer.
soundtrack was killer. Also, what was really good was the color palette for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you notice, like John Boyega's wearing mostly like green, dark greens. Jamie Foxx is wearing a lot of purple, and Teyonah Parris is wearing a lot of like yellows and oranges.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like a really cool like how they decided to like color the movie, as well as also the fact that like this takes place in a city in America, but it doesn't say where. It says like a little town. What does it say? You know what I'm talking about?
Glenville, Glendale, or the Glen. They call it the Glen.
No, but even in the movie, it says somewhere around the way, America. Like and on the license plate, it says the same thing too.
Kind of like parts unknown for like Undertaker or something.
Yeah, because like when you're watching it, like even where it takes place is like I'm not sure if this takes place in the South or like somewhere in Detroit, somewhere in like Memphis maybe.
Yeah, it just seems like they cherry picked a lot of each area, and like even environmentally, like it looks like it could be Atlanta. It looks like it could be Memphis.
Exactly.
It looks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and just like the color of like the way they used lighting and stuff like that, like the real world, and then how everything was lit under
Almost like a really dim light.
Yeah.
Like everything is dark, even in the daytime shots. It's like a pretty dark and like overcast. Like also
gritty.
The film itself, it almost looked like it was filmed in like an older camera.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's to lead into like the blaxploitation
For
side
sure.
of it.
Which I liked about the movie. It borrowed a lot of like blaxploitation themes and tropes.
Yeah, I've been describing it. I've been saying it's like something along the lines of like the 90s kind of gangster flick, like Menace to Society, meets blaxploitation, meets
like a sci-fi mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Great way to describe it, for sure.
Which is like, I didn't know that's what it was at all going into it.
Yeah, me either.
No. I mean, you were raving about it, and I was trying to get you to shut the fuck up.
I just said it was
I know,
amazing.
I
It
know.
was mind-blowing.
I know.
I was just really impressed.
Yeah.
I feel like you were talking about Ninja Turtles, like some movies are just like impressive to watch, and like this was impressive to watch.
Yeah, it was so fresh.
Hey, that's funny. I was watching some of it last night, and I was like, dude, this movie's fresh as fuck.
Because it also kind of reminded me of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Not in like scope, but like it was different. It was sci-fi. It was a more diverse sci-fi cast. Like it was all black cast pretty much, except for we have Kiefer Sutherland with the surprise appearance. His character was great too.
He was great. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's such a weird conspiracy going on in this movie. We have to talk about that because there's like
That's true.
an underground lab
Hold on.
where
Let's
all
give
these
it a brief synopsis of the movie.
yeah, for sure.
So basically, this takes place in somewhere in America. It's an urban hood, ran down neighborhood and community, largely black. And you have John Boyega plays a drug dealer named Fontaine. And he pretty much, he's like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a loner, more or less.
Yeah.
He just like sells drugs and goes about his day. Every day he buys a scratch off lottery ticket. and he passes by a homeless guy, or like a homeless drunk bum, where he gives him some of his 40 ounce.
Yeah.
And then he tries to go get money back from Jamie Foxx's character, a pimp named Slick Charles.
Slick Charles.
And then earlier in the movie, he had hit a drug dealer with his car for pretty much like dealing on his turf.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so after he leaves Jamie Foxx's character's motel room, he gets shot and killed. Then the next day, he wakes up and he thinks it was a dream. And he's like, all right, well, he doesn't remember the day before. So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to go do the same shit I did. I need to go get my money from Slick Charles. Goes back to Slick Charles' motel room, and Slick Charles freaks out because he's like, what the fuck? I just saw you get murdered yesterday. How are you possibly alive? That's some zombie shit. And Fontaine doesn't believe it. They then go to Teyonah Parris' character. I forgot her name. What was her name? The prostitute.
Yo-Yo.
Yo-Yo. Yeah.
Yeah, she was great.
She was great. And Yo-Yo was like, yeah, like I saw you get killed.
So funny also.
She was, she was honestly hilarious.
I loved her. And like it also is just like you have the Marvels coming out, which no one gives a shit about, but it makes me a little bit more interested in seeing that because I think Iman Vellani, who plays Miss Marvel, and now Teyonah Parris, who plays Spectrum, they're both way better than Brie Larson,
Yes.
I think. More entertaining and just better characters. Like, and any other movies I've seen them too. Like, they're just, I like them as actresses. So, like, I think they're cool to have in the MCU, but they need to do more with them, especially Teyonah Parris at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
Because she stole a lot of scenes in those movies, in the movie for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Hard agree. And so basically, they uncover a conspiracy. They go to this trap house where it looks, for all intents and purposes, like where you sell drugs. And underneath the trap house is a very advanced underground network of laboratories that clone black people in poor urban communities so as to keep things in order as far as they're concerned.
Like their whole organization is about somehow achieving peace in America.
Yes.
It's like their twisted way of doing that.
Yes, but they make it so that like the reason a lot of people are poor and black is because they make it so, and they make it so that like people will always, like black communities will always have a few staples. 1, a liquor store. 2, a fried chicken place. 3, a pimp, a prostitute, and a drug dealer. There's always like those like staples of, black communities throughout America. And that's what helps them keep peace as far as like not allowing them to rise up and, fight the man.
I was just having a high moment, and I'm sorry if this is sidetracking anything, but in this movie, and I think inadvertently, or maybe it's not inadvertently, like everything we talked about recently is like a big element of it is evil scientist.
Yes.
Right? Like scientists like using like their
Oppenheimer,
Stockman, I guess, in Ninja Turtles, Manhattan Projects,
Yep.
And then I guess this now, and then even X-Men. We could push it that far. Like,
I agree.
evil scientists. What the fuck?
We've been on a big mad scientist.
We're on to you, everybody.
Yeah.
We even covered every conspiracy. That's why you're making Comics and Chronicle illegal.
We're gonna go before Congress. They had their
we
times
know
with-
about the mad scientist.
Yeah, we know about the mad scientist. We're about to blow the cover wide off this thing. And we're getting deeper to uncovering the truth about 9/11 with every episode.
Yeah, it's all connected.
It's all connected.
We're on to you, everybody.
Yeah, there's a group of mad scientists that are concocting a series of infinite 9/11s. It's going to be chaos, but we're stopping it. That would be the Comics and Chronic movie, I guess.
Yeah. So then they basically uncover this like underground network of scientists / like obviously like some black ops government shit that is meant to keep the black population throughout America in what they call like, order, whatever. And also to keep them down, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and one of the best scenes, both funny and like when they're eating the fried chicken in the restaurant.
And everyone starts laughing.
Yeah.
But even if you watch that scene when they're just talking before Jamie Foxx and all them start laughing, look at everyone around you. They're like super animated, cracking up, laughing at each other. And then like Fontaine, who notoriously throughout the movie is like very deadpan, stone faced. When he starts laughing, you like know something's up. You're like, wait.
Yeah.
Because even Slick Charles looks at him.
That was a good
he's
scene,
like,
yeah.
Fontaine, you're laughing? And then like they're like he like looks around and everyone's like ooh, just like being over the top. He's like, it's in the chicken.
Yeah. Dude, the chicken, the hair products, everything made and distributed, insinuating everything made and distributed like into black communities is kind of manufactured. You know what I mean? And
Which is like a thing. There are so many, like this statistically, there are so many liquor stores in black poor communities throughout America. But like, why? Well, if you go to a nice rich neighborhood, how many liquor stores are there? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, and like we know like crack was introduced by the CIA into black communities so as to like fuck up their shit. Like it's like a now well documented thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like this movie borrows heavily from like legit shit and like conspiracies.
And kind of turns it on its head in this really entertaining way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I love the part like
saying that like even down to the figureheads, like the fact that
the preacher.
Yeah, the preacher, Fontaine. You know what I mean? They're like, we make you and put you into the community to keep the community down.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, the music is a big thing too.
Yes.
Yeah, the music is bananas.
It like mind controls you. And you get hints of that earlier in the movie where I think Slick Charles is like saying, man, every time this song comes on, I get really sleepy.
Mm-hmm.
And Fontaine's the only one that's like, whatever. Like he's not affected by it because he's always like a man on a mission.
But he is still very much programmed. You find out that his memory of his little brother dying is just a false installed memory.
Yeah.
And then I gotta say, one of my favorite scenes, and like when it happened, I was like, what? The reveal that his mom is not even real and in there.
Yeah, it's just a recording.
It's just a speaker box that's like on loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that scene. He freaks out. He rips out. He's like, ah.
This movie had hard Matrix vibes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like finding out what the true world is. Like the old man in front of the liquor store or the where he keeps getting the scratch off lottery tickets.
He's like a sphinx. He keeps speaking in riddles.
Yeah.
You think he
He's
sounds like
like
a crazy person, but he's like
but he like
revealing
knows
what's going on.
something. Yeah, like he reminded me of the Oracle in the Matrix too. Like he
Straight
knows
is
the deeper-
greater.
Yeah. Yeah, like he just saying like to everyone outside he seems like a crazy drunken homeless dude. But because he's like, oh, they're snatching people off the street. I was like, whatever, old man.
Yeah.
But like, nah, he was right.
He knew it all along.
Yeah.
Crazy. I also loved that all of the employees, the random like white people that you did see
They all
throughout
have
the movie.
afros.
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a funny thing.
But you find out later that's like something they were trying to clone like white people or something, and that's they kept
They
messing
couldn't-
up,
Yeah.
or that was the original.
Those were the
clones.
original clones, but they weren't like perfected.
Yeah,
So that's
like
why they're
everyone
white,
had a
but,
fro.
like, with black afros for some reason.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, it's so funny.
This movie's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally laugh out loud multiple times the first
Yeah.
time I watched it.
Dude, it's hilarious, but it also has really good like mystery sci-fi thriller vibes. Because I was like, truly, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know where this movie's going at all.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
And also like there were
it's
really like beautiful intimate moments between the three
Yeah.
characters. Like dramatic.
Yeah.
All
like,
three of
serious-
them.
All three of them. Yeah. They have like some really serious like heart-to-heart moments.
and alone. Like we keep harping on it. This movie's acting is out of the water.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Honestly, I mean, with the strike and stuff, we have no idea what Oscar season is even going to look like.
Yeah.
But that being said, if this were not to be considered, it's a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hope it doesn't go like unnoticed. I feel like people should watch it. Like I've been telling people, I got my brother-in-law to watch it. He was like, dude, this is awesome. I never would have watched it had you not said something. And that's what I feel like. I feel like people, because it's not like also, I'm not gonna lie, I would have paid to see this in theaters.
Yeah, this wasn't in theaters. It's just straight to
Straight
Netflix.
to Netflix. But I think it's good enough to be in theaters, you know?
Hell yes. Deserves it.
I think this will end up being one of those kinds of movies that's like a big cult classic.
I could see
you know what I
I
mean?
could totally see that.
Yeah. Did you guys catch there's a scene with Yo-Yo and Slick Charles, so Teyonah Parris and Jamie Foxx, who, like I said, they're both like they are in the MCU. She's Spectrum, he's Electro. And they talk about Spidey sense in a scene. I thought that was kind of
you're
funny.
right.
Oh yeah,
I was like,
for
"Ha."
sure.
They totally do. Fucking Slick Charles. I love Jamie Foxx's like voice that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's great throughout the movie.
Yeah, he just has so many
Yeah.
funny lines. Like he's like when they're trying to find when Yo-Yo gets kidnapped, you know, and brought to the laboratory, and Slick Charles and Fontaine are trying to find her, so they go talk to that one prostitute. who like you have to pay money to get information from. This is the part where like Jamie Foxx is wearing a fur coat. He's like, "Bitch, if you make me sweat in this coat, I'll slap the shit out of you."
Hell yeah.
He was so funny, man. Jamie Foxx is like a genuinely good actor.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, underrated.
I agree, super underrated. Although I mean, he did win an Oscar for Ray, so
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, I feel like he doesn't get taken as seriously as he deserves.
Have you ever seen Jarhead
Yes.
with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No.
He
Yeah.
plays the captain, the military captain in that movie.
See, the first time I really loved Jamie Foxx, that or at least like one of my favorite movies. It might not be the first time because I liked him in that fucking sitcom he had back in the day.
Yeah, the Jamie Foxx show.
Foxx show.
Yeah,
That was a good show.
good show. But no, the first movie where I was like, "Whoa, was Collateral with Tom Cruise."
Yeah, that's a great movie.
I was like, "Damn, that movie fucking rules."
That movie slaps, bro.
Slaps. We should do an episode on Collateral.
I would do
Yeah,
that.
because I haven't
Anthony-
seen it.
Anthony hasn't seen it. You know he
How
hasn't.
have you not seen Collateral?
I know that's like, yeah, that's one I got to see.
Anthony, sometimes you offend me. I take it as an affront that you haven't seen certain movies.
An affront to God.
That one is definitely one I should have seen. Collateral. Yeah, I got to see it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm sorry I offended you.
Honestly, one of Tom Cruise's best roles too.
I agree. The Collateral's dope as fuck.
Dope as fuck. Michael Mann at his best.
Yeah.
No, maybe not. Maybe not his best. Heat's his best, but
Yeah, Heat's good.
second best.
I like Public Enemies also with Johnny Depp. That's a good movie.
I like Public Enemies, but I think I like Collateral more.
Yeah, I agree. Kiefer Sutherland, like when he came on screen, I was like, "Holy shit, is that Kiefer Sutherland?" As
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I was
handler
surprised.
of this entire operation.
No, the whole thing, honestly, like he popped up as he's aged. He's starting to look a lot more like Donald.
Oh yeah, he looks like his dad.
Yeah. When he was younger, I was like, damn, this dude, they don't look that much alike. But now that he's aging, he looks so much like his dad.
His voice is also a lot more gruff now too.
Yeah.
Like when he was talking, it was more like, yeah, whatever. We got to keep you guys down.
He sounds like he's been smoking
Exactly.
a lot.
He does sound like he's been smoking a lot of cigarettes. But yeah, no, this movie like just super fresh, really entertaining. And then what I also like, there's some really heartfelt moments. Like, okay, it's after John Boyega's character realizes his mom's not real. There is not even a mom there.
Oh, yeah.
And you know that little boy throughout the movie that he's been like chilling
Talking
with.
about SpongeBob.
Yeah, talking about SpongeBob, and you kind of like, it's kind of like this cool heartfelt moment because it's like, okay, he's never had a little brother, but like this kid is the little brother that he never had, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I thought that
For
that was
sure.
kind of like a beautiful moment.
I agree.
And then it's also like when he's drinking the Capri Sun, talking about SpongeBob with him, he like looks at him, and then he goes to Slick Charles, and then they both decide to like blow the lid off this shit because they're like, well, fuck it, if we're gonna be kept down and made to eat chicken and drink all the time, like, and there's clones of us. We haven't yet to even get to that part when they find out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
there's
go into the trap
clones.
house. Yeah, they go into the laboratory, and there's all these tubes with people in them, and a lot of them are people that have gone missing throughout the town, as well as a clone of themselves. And all of them find a clone of themselves.
Except for Teyonah Parris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed that too. You never see.
Well,
a clone of
they
Yo-Yo.
even say when she and Kiefer are facing off at one point, they even say he's even like, we didn't need to clone you. You're just a 2-bit whore. You did that on your own.
Damn.
Damn, yeah, you're right. That's fucking sad.
Yeah.
Jesus, yeah.
No, but she's great. She's like a detective. Like she knows.
I
who
mean,
She
she
said
is.
she
honestly,
loves like Nancy Drew.
Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, there's all them Nancy Drews and Slick Charles. What does he say? He picks up one of them books and he says some really fucking funny line about Nancy Drew and like all the adventures she goes on.
The two of them, Slick Charles and Yo-Yo. I can't remember exactly what they said, but there is a part where the two of them, they're in the car with Fontaine, and I don't know if they're talking about a movie or something, but they like go off on their own little tangent, and they're like, "Yeah, that is good." And the two of them just start talking, and he's like, "Shut up."
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
Also, like when they're in the elevator and they start singing.
Yeah. It's a duet. It becomes a duet.
Yeah, it becomes a duet with Yo-Yo and Slick Charles.
Dude, they were so funny.
Like, there's like a lot of like little funny moments like that.
The chemistry between all three is unreal. Like, this movie, the acting just fucking hit me in the guts.
I love when Yo-Yo, she wants to send everything that she's uncovered to the press. So she like dresses, because she's like reading Nancy Drew. She dresses in her little spy disguise with the sunglasses and the hat and the trench coat. And she's like going and she puts the envelope in the mailbox and she's like making sure no one notices her. And that one prostitute is like, Yo, is that you? Immediately recognizes her. He's like, Yo, is that you, girl? What are you doing? And she's like, God damn it.
That's so funny.
Also a great scene, or like a great like bit throughout the movie is Slick Charles keeps saying, he's like, bitch, I'll snatch that wig off. And she's like, it's not a wig, it's my real hair. And then when she's in the laboratory and she's being tortured by the scientists and everything, and they're like using hair products to like mind control her, and she's like going along with it. She's like, ah. But then like, she's like, it's a wig. It is a wig. You find out it is a real wig, and she takes it off.
Yeah.
And like, you don't remember at the end, she takes off.
Oh, no, I totally remember.
I just didn't realize she was saying that throughout the movie, and so that's a cool detail.
Yeah, she was saying it throughout the movie because everyone's calling it a wig, and she's like, no, this is my real hair.
Yeah. Exactly.
One of the funniest scenes to me was with the other, I guess, the guy that runs the gang, and he's like at the end, they have a confrontation, him and Fontaine, and it seems like it's a real thing, but it's like a thing they practiced. Dude. And you find out this dude was practicing his lines before he met Fontaine. It's hilarious.
That whole scene, that their plan that they like used to like infiltrate. That whole scene when they show the montage of what actually went down. Yeah, they like went to him and like, yo, dude, this is what's happening. And then they rehearse their lines. Like he's in the car rehearsing the lines with his other drug dealer dude. Like, yeah,
it's so funny.
So funny, man. I don't know who's that actor, by the way. He was really good in the movie as the rival drug dealer.
Isaac or whatever. Is that
that was his name, but I don't know the actor's name.
I'm just saying, like whoever that dude was, he was really good.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah. I loved when he referred to Fontaine as a Lazarus motherfucker.
So we have to call Jason Todd.
Yeah, dude. He was really good. There's just so many good lines. And then of course, like when they do like
John Boyega as Jason Todd, Red Hood. That could work.
I'd be down for that.
I'd be down.
Right? Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying something.
No. I forget. It was just dope.
Dope movie. Powerful. Like seriously, I loved it. I thought it was incredible.
What were your gripes with it, Cody?
I have zero gripes with the film itself. Nice. It's more along the lines of like, I'm really grateful for like that, like these people of color got to like get their vision out there and stuff like that. But I just hate the like controlled opposition. Like this is all, it's like a very harsh critique on society and the way we live and the way we treat people of color. But it's also like being put out through this mega corporation. Like it's more of me just having gripes with society and not the movie. And it just like kind of making you think about these kinds of things.
Yeah.
You know?
It doesn't, the movie definitely makes you think.
Yeah, no, it does. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying like, in that way, it is kind of sad. You know?
I mean like the movie makes you think because it is, a lot of social commentary as far as like, why are Black communities so underserved? And like, why are there these characters? Because they are the characters that you meet until like, one is a pimp, one's a whore, one's a drug dealer. That alone are very stereotypical archetypes of Black characters in cinema, of Black characters in America. Why are they so prevalent throughout every city in America? You know what I mean? You can go to every urban rundown part in America and find these characters. You know what I mean?
To some degree.
Right. I would just mean like there are pimps and prostitutes and drug dealers.
Yeah, especially Tyrone. And then the way they think, them thinking at the end, Tyrone and his gang thinking at the end that Tyrone was the one that was cloned.
Well, yeah, that last scene is really fucking the
You
best.
think the movie ends.
Well, yeah, so hold on. So they blow the lid off the thing. They free all the clones. And now the news,
it's so satisfying to watch that, by the way.
yeah,
Like, it's just so cool.
When all of them storm the fucking... I love that scene when it's like Jamie Foxx
whole town
and the rival
unites.
drug dealer and the Kang and in their cars going to infiltrate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they go to the convenience store and he like, cocks the shotgun. He's like, where's the door leading to the creepy underground laboratory?
Yeah, dude. It's so funny.
Yeah, that whole scene is great. So they uncover this conspiracy. They free all these clones. And the news is now getting wind of it. And they're like, people who have gone missing. It also appears that there's clones of people. And so it's now making the news. Okay. And the also, like, I do like the ending with the three main characters. And they're like, well, fuck it. What are we going to do now? Now that we are not beholden to the strings.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let's go on adventures. And they also imply that maybe, like, let's go free more cities.
That was really cool. It's just like, I would like to see more of this
I would
movie.
watch a sequel
like, why
to this
not?
easily.
Yeah.
I would totally watch a sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. This was so good.
Because it seemed like also when they were talking to the old man scientist that there was a bigger conspiracy even at play. Like, it didn't just stop there in that city.
Well, it's not just happening in this city. It's happening in all cities throughout America.
Yeah, but it seemed like there were different clones too. Like, they weren't just going to stop at making black clones. It seemed like there were other races in the clones. Like, you saw like there were like 5 or 6 tubes.
Yeah. Well, it's like some like almost had like Westworld vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't even connect that, but you're right.
A lot of Westworld vibes. Like, you can have like maybe black clones and then maybe there's like Latino clones or, you know what I mean? Like shit like that.
I think that's what it was implying. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, okay. The movie ends, or this part of the movie ends, and then it takes place. Now it cuts to Los Angeles, and you see John Boyega, but he's not Fontaine. He's a different character. He's in L.A., very much dressed up as an L.A. gangbanger. He's wearing the blue flannel. He's now got braids in his hair, and you see the day that he lives, which is very much the same as Fontaine's day.
And it's cut the same way. Like, he
cut
sits
the
up
same
in
way.
bed. He goes to drive. He goes to the store.
He sees a
scratches
picture
up.
of his little brother that he lost.
Oh yeah.
He goes to the liquor store, gets a 40 ounce, gets a lottery ticket, pours it out for the dude, the homeless guy in LA. And then like him and his boys are in the trap house and they're watching the news. And the news of what's going on where Fontaine and everyone blew the lid off it. And they're like, holy shit, this is crazy. I guess they're cloning black people. And then they see Fontaine's clone, who they had like kidnapped and tied up, and he's walking around naked. And his boys are looking at the news, and they're looking at John Boyega's now LA variant, I guess, his Los Angeles variant. And they're looking at him, and like they're like, hey, yo, ain't that you, Tyrone? And then it just cuts.
Yeah.
And then it's like, dude, that's why I liked about it too. I agree with you, Cody. It's like, it's almost like they have their own story, and like to them, you know, they don't know what's going on, so they think, like, yo, they cloned Tyrone. Like,
Yeah, exactly. And like they'll have to, but also if the old man was dead, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just like it also implies that like them blowing the lid off of it will cause the clones in their own communities to see it, almost like the
Clone Wars.
The clone
yeah,
army,
I was gonna say like a clone uprising or a gladiator, like that one, like in Gladiator when all of the gladiators uprise against the king, the emperor
Commodus?
and stuff. Yeah.
like a team of Fontaines and a team of Slick Charleses. You know,
shit.
like
my
And
God,
yo-yos.
well,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
No,
Yo-Yo's not
Yo-Yo's-
cloned. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Yo-Yo's just the real deal.
or maybe we find out she does have a clone. Who knows?
Yeah.
In this movie, she doesn't, and maybe they should keep it that
But
way.
you know what I was just thinking is that because she had a wig on, she was therefore throughout the never putting hair products in her, so she was never being controlled by anyone, which is why she had these aspirations to leave the hood and move to another city and become a
Exactly.
journalist,
And also
you know?
why she wasn't she was just like suffer. It was a sign that like she was just suffering because of like kind of like for the same reason that black communities suffer from liquor stores. She was suffering from having to just associate with characters like Slick Charles and Fontaine.
Like she just had
You know
to
what I
like,
mean?
survive. There was no real
Exactly.
opportunity for her, but she wanted to. She wanted to be a journalist and all this shit.
Yeah. But it almost like showing though how because
Almost
the
showing
way
that
Jamie
it's hard
Foxx
to break away from the mold when you're
No,
black
from-
in America.
Yeah, for sure. And like Slick Charles always talking about how she's a yo-yo and she always comes back.
Yeah.
Like almost just such a clear indicator that like until they figure out what's going on and unravel the plan, that it's working.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah, this movie's fucking deep. It's as deep as it is funny.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yep.
Oh yeah, because everything we got really somber here for a second, but literally the whole thing is so funny.
Really funny.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. They're all funny, but like Jamie Foxx is like, I watched it. I was like, man, I love seeing Jamie Foxx act.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
good.
I also love Teyonah Parris.
Yeah, she was
and
she was gorgeous too.
Yeah, and just like killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, great cast. I have zero gripes with the movie. Like
I have zero gripes. I even talking about it now, and when I finished it, I already knew my score right away because it's
you knew it.
I knew it.
I knew it.
It's seared into my head.
Sometimes the score is baked in.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, like not saying that they're the same, but I do think that like this is one of those movies that like last year, the only two movies I would say that like made me feel even that like hit me in a similar context were like Everything Everywhere All at Once and Banshees of Inisherin.
Mm. But yeah, Everything Everywhere. That's what I was trying to say. Like, I think it deserves just as much praise and like eyes on it as that movie.
I agree.
Yeah, hopefully.
I do. Actually, yeah. I think you're right. It should get as much accolades as Everything Everywhere All at Once has.
I think so.
I feel like it won't, though, which makes me feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I think I do think it'll get some nods. I don't think you can watch I mean, also I'm saying this based on like the idea that maybe we'll have a normal Oscar season, but with like them pushing back Dune and all these other things.
Everything's getting pushed back now.
Yeah, so I just think that like we don't know what'll happen Oscar season, but I think in a normal Oscar season, this wouldn't get ignored.
Yeah. It sucks that it's good that writers and actors are going on strike to get better pay and better working conditions. 1 million percent. And I agree with what they're doing. No, but what I'm saying, it does suck that a movie like this can't be promoted because of that. That sucks because they still put just as much work into this movie as any other movie. Oh, yeah. They just can't promote it. And the fact that even places that would normally like promote it like as a podcast won't do that now because it's kind of like seen as like, which I don't know, like shouldn't you get it out somehow? Like I think we're not like we're not critics or anything. We're just dudes that like watch these movies and shows and comics and enjoy them and want to talk about them. And I feel like how else are we going to get the word out if we're not like, hey, we love this. We got to tell you guys about it. You know what I mean? Like, go watch this movie on Netflix right now.
In solidarity with them and promote.
But seriously, I think like someone has to talk about the movies. Like, we're not getting paid to do this. We just like talking about the things that we've seen and like. And we'll go watch it is what we're saying. Like, if I hope that I should hope that shouldn't stop anybody. You get what I mean? Like, why not talk about these things that they literally can't get any press right now?
Legally cannot talk about it.
Right. Like, we can't even, like, let's say John Boyega, for some reason, listens to Comics and Chronic every week.
He does.
Like which he definitely does. But he couldn't come on and, like, talk about it. Like, that's a shame.
Yeah, that is a shame.
Yeah.
But
he's actually...
Maybe we can AI deepfake John Boyega on our show. You know what I also like? John Boyega? He did a really good... American accent.
Oh yeah, he's great. Well, I mean, I've seen him in Attack the Block.
Exactly.
I guess that was the
like,
first thing.
If this was my first movie that I had ever seen him, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's an American actor. But
yeah.
No,
and I thought he changed his dialect when you saw the LA version.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his LA version
Tyrone,
was more like LA dialect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, for sure.
That was cool.
And once again, when he played the older scientist version of himself, like his voice was
different.
completely different.
Yeah.
It was it had that. You know, like
it's almost like a Sean Connery type.
But it had a little bit of I can't do it, but it made him seem like that kind of person. It made sense.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm giving this movie an easy money 6.
Easy money 6.
Easy money
6. Yeah. He's back.
Hey, Satan, good to have you back.
I've been showing up a lot lately, fellas.
Satan, did you like They Cloned Tyrone?
Go watch They Cloned Tyrone right now. If you don't have a Netflix subscription, I don't know, sell your soul.
Steal
to
it.
me. Go watch it. Oh yeah, steal it from somebody, sure. Why not? Satan approves.
Satan, what is your message to the studio execs right now who are preventing these writers and actors from...
Well, we all know they're pieces of shit. They work for me personally. I've had their souls on back order for a real long time.
On back
So there's really nothing human left inside of them at this point. So who knows if they'll ever stop being assholes.
So I think what Satan is saying is kill your local executives.
Your local executive.
Well, I'm not saying no.
Satan. What a crazy guy.
I hate him.
I like how we have kind of like almost South Park style made Satan a character on our comics.
Hey, he's cool with us. Why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, now, I mean, I think he had a large role in us in Comics and Chronic becoming legal now.
Yeah,
I think so.
exactly.
I think so.
Exactly.
He won't accept our souls for some reason, though. He's kind of been a dick about that. Like, he won't let us.
He wants
you
us
know?
to live longer so we can commit more sins, a la Constantine style.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
he
that
knows
makes
right now. He
sense.
knows right now. If we died, God, we would go be with God.
Yeah, we would be. And the reason is because every week we sacrifice to make this dope ass podcast for the listeners.
Yeah, we
We're like
lose.
Krakoa.
Yeah, we lose a little bit of ourselves every day, so you guys can live.
Yeah.
It's what we do. It's just part of our gimmick, you know? If we didn't do that, who knows what the earth would be like now,
Yeah.
I don't know.
100 years from now. Don't just listen to us.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
listen to us and go watch They Cloned Tyrone. Seriously, it's actually
Yeah, for real.
If you like good movies, and if you consider yourself someone to like, you know what this movie also like, not like art house, but it just wasn't like mainstream, and that's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, just definitely the cinematography, the way they cut it and edited it, the camera style, the gritty, like it's honestly incredible.
The soundtrack, and I really don't want to sleep on the soundtrack because it was so good. It was so funky. It just had everything you needed for this movie.
A lot of good music in it.
Yeah. Like, I need to actually add that on my Spotify. That was, it was good. No, like, it kind of reminded me of Jackie Brown soundtrack.
Ooh, I love Jackie Brown soundtrack.
Jackie Brown's a banger.
Yep.
We should do a
Great
Jackie Brown
movie.
episode.
I'm down.
We should do any Tarantino episodes.
Yeah.
True, but I'll say this: Jackie Brown is probably my favorite Tarantino movie.
Ooh.
That's a hot take, and I respect it.
Dude, well, I'm a hot boy, so
I don't know if that's. I don't know if it's my favorite, but it's up there. Hey,
That's the hot boy horn, remember?
that's the hot boy horn. Well, thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of Comics and Chronic.
We love you.
We appreciate you.
Yeah. We think if you're like, what? I thought this was comic book related. I think if you're a comic book fan, you'll like this because of all like the sci-fi elements and just, it's good.
Also, it's just like read more, or if this isn't like your typical bread and butter, this is a great piece of art to like expand the kind of media you take in.
Exactly.
It's incredible.
Branch out, you guys. Stop being so close-minded.
Yeah, it's not about Marvel and DC, okay?
All right, we're not sucking Marvel's dick here.
Yeah, we're sucking Netflix's.
In this episode,
And remember, guys, we are now legal, so you can legally listen to us.
Yeah,
Any point in time throughout
no
your
more
day.
hiding in the shadows.
No
Yeah.
more hiding.
No more hiding in the shadows.
To me, my commies.
And when you come out of the shadows, give us $5, and that could go towards our Patreon.
What?
For just $5 a month, you could get an
Yeah.
exclusive episode, a dark secret.
Yeah,
We're doing cool things over there. Check it out.
Yeah.
yeah,
Live episodes.
Live
Wow.
episode? You're crazy.
I know.
yeah. Well,
I'm
thanks for
insane.
tuning in, guys.
See ya.
Hi, you're listening to Comics and Chronic, and I'm Jake FH.
I'm Cody Cannon.
And I'm Anthony Iannaccio.
And you can tune in every Thursday to hear new episodes of Comics and Chronic.
And make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Comics N Chronic. That's comics, the letter N, Chronic.
We'll see you guys next week.
Woo!
Peace.